Did you know that before you can even think about walking down the aisle, cutting that cake, or finalizing the guest list, there's one absolutely crucial legal step you have to take in New Jersey? It's true. Securing a marriage license is the foundation of it all. So let's dive right into this explainer and completely demystify the legal roadmap to getting married in the Garden State. We're going to make sure you can focus on your big day without all that administrative stress, and by the end of our time today, you'll have all the knowledge you need to navigate this whole application process with total confidence. Now, one of the most surprising things for a lot of couples is that you can't just walk into an office and get married that exact same day. No way. New Jersey strictly enforces a 72-hour waiting period between the time you file your application and when your license is actually issued. So we're going to give you a complete step-by-step, totally stress-free roadmap to navigate this whole thing, starting with a pretty fascinating fact about the upfront cost. The application fee for a marriage license in New Jersey is exactly $28 across every single municipality in the state. But you know what's really interesting about this number? $25 of that fee goes directly to the Department of Human Services to help fund domestic violence programs and shelters right here in the state. The local registrar's office just keeps the remaining $3, so your relatively small fee is actually contributing to a really impactful cause statewide. Okay, here's our step-by-step agenda for today. We'll cover the first legal step, meeting eligibility requirements, starting the application process, your registrar appointment, receiving the license, and finally some post-license considerations. Let's jump right into Section 1, the first legal step. So let's build a clear understanding of what a New Jersey marriage license actually is in the eyes of the law. Basically, it's an official document that bears the authority of the state of New Jersey. It's your literal legal authorization to marry. But here is the absolute crucial point you need to remember. A New Jersey license can never, ever be used outside of the state. If you're planning a destination wedding over in New York or Pennsylvania, this document isn't going to help you at all. And it works both ways. Out-of-state licenses are completely invalid for ceremonies held within New Jersey borders. It's strictly a state-specific authorization. Moving right along to Section 2, meeting eligibility requirements. Before you even start downloading forms or making phone calls, you and your partner have to make sure you actually meet the state's baseline legal requirements to tie the knot. First off, you must be at least 18 years of age to marry in New Jersey, period. Now, I know some states have complex rules about parental consent for minors, but as of a major law change back in 2018 in New Jersey, there are absolutely no exceptions allowing minors to marry. Both applicants just have to be legal adults. Beyond the age requirement, let's look at the other core rules. First up, a quick myth-busting alert. New Jersey absolutely does not require a blood test to get married. That's an outdated requirement some folks still worry about, so you can cross that right off your list. However, you cannot be a party to another existing marriage, civil union, or recognized domestic partnership, unless, of course, you're specifically applying for a remarriage to your current spouse. And it goes without saying, New Jersey legally recognizes and issues licenses for both same-sex and opposite-sex couples. All right, Section 3, starting the application process. Now that we know for sure you're eligible, let's figure out exactly where and how you start the official application process, because knowing where to go is literally half the battle. And here's a massive pitfall you want to avoid, which all comes down to where you live. If either you or your partner are New Jersey residents, it's super easy. You just apply at the local registrar in the municipality where either of you resides. Once you do that, your license is valid statewide. But if neither of you are New Jersey residents, let's say you're visiting from out of state for a gorgeous Jersey Shore wedding, you absolutely must apply in the specific municipality where your ceremony is taking place. If you fall into that category, the license is only legally valid in that exact issuing municipality. To actually apply, you'll be filling out Form NJREG 77, which is provided by the Department of Health. You can usually just download a fillable PDF online or grab one in person. But listen up, because here is a major pro tip. You can absolutely fill out the front page at home, but do not, under any circumstances, sign the back of the application until you are physically standing in the presence of the local municipal registrar and they specifically instruct you to do so. Which brings us to Section 4, your registrar appointment. Securing that appointment with your local municipal registrar is your next big milestone. A lot of offices require you to call ahead and book this appointment during regular weekday business hours, so you might need to plan to take a little time off work. To make things easy, here's your ultimate checklist. You're going to need a valid government-issued photo ID, proof of residency like a utility bill if you're a New Jersey resident, your social security numbers, and of course that $28 fee. Offices often require this in cash or check, so definitely verify their payment methods beforehand. And most importantly, both partners and one identifying witness who is at least 18 years old must be physically present at this appointment. No exceptions. Also, a quick note. If this isn't your first marriage, be absolutely sure to bring your final divorce decree, civil annulment documents, or your former spouse's death certificate. The registrar is going to need to verify the exact month, year, and location where your previous marriage was legally terminated, just to prevent any roadblocks in issuing your new license.
Okay, on to Section 5, receiving the license.
All right, so you've successfully submitted your application and paid your fee at the registrar. Great. But remember what we talked about earlier. You do not walk out with the license immediately. This timeline maps out the exact sequence you have to follow. First you file, then the clock starts on that mandatory waiting period, then the license is formally issued, and finally a new countdown begins on how long you have to actually hold the ceremony. Seeing it laid out like this really proves why you absolutely cannot leave this administrative task to the very last minute before your wedding weekend. Let's dig into that wait a bit more. There is a mandatory 72-hour waiting period before your license can physically be handed over to you. And that clock starts the exact moment your application is officially filed with the local registrar. What does this mean for you? Well, if you're planning a Saturday wedding, you need to have applied no later than the preceding Tuesday. And don't forget, registrars aren't open on weekends or public holidays to hand over documents, so you really have to plan ahead. Now, there are a few very narrow exceptions to this 72-hour waiting period rule. If you are an active duty member of the U.S. Armed Forces or the National Guard, you get an immediate pass. Also, if you're simply applying for a remarriage, meaning you're just reaffirming your vows with your current legal spouse, that wait is waived entirely, as long as you show a certified copy of your existing marriage certificate. Once that wait is finally over and the registrar actually hands you the physical issued license, a new clock starts ticking. The license is good and legally valid for exactly 30 days from the date of issuance. If you don't have your ceremony within that 30-day window, the document completely expires. And if that happens, yep, you guessed it, you have to start the entire process over again, right down to paying a brand new $28 fee. Finally, let's look at Section 6, post-license considerations. Getting the license in your hands is really only half the battle. Properly executing and filing it is what completes the legal circle. In New Jersey, your ceremony must be solemnized by a legally authorized individual. The good news is, this list is actually quite broad. It includes federal and state judges, mayors, county clerks, every ordained minister of every religion, and even formally certified civil celebrants who have been credentialed by the Secretary of State. So, on your actual wedding day, you must present the valid license to your officiant. During the ceremony itself, you are legally required to have 2 witnesses who are at least 18 years old present to sign the certificate. Once the ink is dry on those signatures, it becomes your officiant's strict legal responsibility to file the completed license with the local registrar in the specific municipality where the ceremony actually occurred. Before we wrap up, I do need to give a quick but important professional disclaimer. While the core rules we've discussed today are statewide, individual municipalities might have their own specific quirks when it comes to appointment scheduling, operational hours, or accepted payment methods. So always be sure to verify current procedures with your local government authorities or consult a legal professional just to be absolutely safe. Hey, if you found this explainer helpful, please make sure to subscribe and leave any questions you might have in the comments below. All right, you are now fully equipped with a comprehensive roadmap to getting your New Jersey marriage license without all the stress. But as you look toward your ceremony, the most important and personal question still remains: who will you choose to officiate your unique journey to I do? Think about it. Thanks so much for learning with us today, and we'll see you in the next explainer.